Welcome back, everyone, to the 98th episode of the Tundra Cast. Today I got Ryan.
What's up, boys?
And I got Nick.
Hi.
And yeah, it's been 2 months since we recorded a show. We've been really busy. And school and work and all that fun stuff. But we're back. We're back.
Hopefully more consistently.
Hopefully. We say that every year. We're starting to sound like Johnny Superman.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
hey, that Yeti series is going crazy. I can't lie.
I've been following it, like when he uploads on YouTube, bro. Some of the whole
the fan
art's been kind of
crazy.
What was the fucking the scout?
That was
Chase
Davidson?
That was awesome.
Honestly,
classic
when he pulled that trade for Veshy, I wanted to call him a slur, but you know, I had to hold back. But
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that almost kind of took me out of it because it just was so unrealistic.
6 first-round picks, Keller, whatever.
Keller took on like 17 different bad contracts.
Anyways, it's early June. June 7th is the day of this recording. You know what that means, guys? It's the Stanley Cup final featuring the Florida Panthers. And I'm still in shock because I can't believe it. My Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how they beat Dallas. I had Dallas in 6.
I don't know either.
But they did the thing. They did do the thing, and they're here for the first time in the McDavid era. So before we get into that series, let's kind of recap what has happened in the playoffs so far. I know Ryan does not want to talk about his team, but when we get to it, we'll get to it. And first series we have was the Dallas Stars against the Vegas Golden Knights. Thank fucking Christ the Vegas Golden Knights lost. Just thank God, man.
Stood on his head.
All your bullshit LTIR shenanigans, get the fuck out of here. You know what's the funniest thing, too? Vegas fans are like, oh no, Stone actually has a lacerated spleen. He's not going to come back. Shut the fuck up. Everyone knew he was going to come back day one of the playoffs.
Good Mickey Mouse over here. But no, I do agree. I mean, I said this before. I'll say it again. If I had Vegas's doctors, I would wait 24 hours, 18 hours, however fucking long it takes to get healthcare in this country anymore. I will absolutely do it because that is insane. The 4 players that came back. Oh, they came. Yeah. It was funny that post going around too of like Stone and his like injury history and the dates of when he comes back. It's just like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, anyways. I mean, I had that actually perfectly right. I said Dallas in 7, and they won in 7. Thank God they won, because that would have sucked. Like my bracket's busted because I had Dallas winning the cup, but I mean, if they lost in the first round, that just would have been horrible.
I mean, Andra was just outstanding in that
goalie.
series, and like the big thing was like, to be fair, I only know one Dallas Stars fan, and Shay knows who that is. But, like, going into the series, like, you would have thought that Jake Andra
was the worst goalie of all time.
Worst goalie of all time. Like, I thought it was like, wow, is like goaltending really a point of concern for Dallas going into the series? And then no, bro just stood on his head the entire series and took out the Vegas LTIRs. So, you know, light work. But Andra was outstanding. I'm sure we'll come across him eventually, but Wyatt Johnston, man.
What a hell of a player.
Dude,
hell of a player.
Dallas' scouting staff is insane. Like, imagine drafting a guy that high that didn't play any games, except for, like, the U18s.
You know,
that's insane scouting.
You know what the saddest thing is?
Knew.
Dallas's head amateur scout is Holland's nephew. So that's great. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for not bringing in your relative here.
Hey, he wanted to avoid the nepotism charges.
That's a fair point. You know what? Like, speaking of Vegas, it's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason because they took on Hurdle's contract. I forgot how much San Jose retained. I think it was like 1.1.
I think it was like 8.5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For Hannafin
they brought in Hannafin too. Martinez is probably gone. They brought in Manfa who looked like shit.
It was only 7.35 for Hannafin. That's
like, Jesus, that's a great deal. That's a good deal.
That's a really good deal. Jeez,
but you know, I mean, just thank God Vegas didn't make it through. I don't think anyone wanted to see Vegas make it past the first round. The next series was the Avs and the Jets. I don't know why the Jets were so favored heading in. Like, I knew Georgiev was dog shit, but like,
Forgiev. That's Forgiev. Bro, game one, I think it was, like, my boy who doesn't follow hockey asked me, like, hey, like, if you had to place a bet for this game, what would you place? I was like, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to score. All I'm going to say is bet over 3.5 on Dallas goals.
Jets goals.
And guess what?
Yeah.
It hit.
That's also a very heavy question. Like, help me with my financial decision. It's like, more only I'm gonna make the guy lose money. But that series was insane. It was like every game was like 5 goals for each team.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to Hellebuck. He just like stopped
Honestly, I
playing
don't even think it was Hellebuck's fault.
I think the team just stopped playing.
I remember watching, I think it was game 4. I remember watching game 4 as like the full game. And I think it ended like 5-2 Avs. And like, I remember watching that Makar goal when he skated end to end through the entire D. And I'm like, how the fuck is Hellebuck supposed to stop this? Like, where's the defense? Like, you're playing Neil Pionk like 25 minutes a night.
That's
right?
fair.
Like,
and he was terrible. Pionk was not good.
Didn't he score in his own net?
Yeah, to be fair, there weren't many Winnipeg Jets that I could say had a good series against Colorado. I felt it was a tough defensive showing from top to bottom from that roster.
And like, I don't know how you blame Bonus after that. I don't think you blame Bonus. Like, I know he had questionable decisions. He scratched, I think, Cole Perfetti, but like, he's not. I don't always think inserting Cole Perfetti into the lineup makes the Jets win that series.
And all their coaches just hate Ehlers for no reason. They just all hate Ehlers, apparently. Can my guy play in the top 6, please? Like, can we stop burying him in the bottom 6?
I mean, he'll probably get traded this summer. We'll see where he goes.
To the Leafs. Mitch Marner to Winnipeg.
You know what? If there's one good thing that comes out of this, Jesse Pollock is depressed. So that's great. That's the best thing.
There goes the future partnership.
There goes that partnership.
There goes all our money. Thanks, buddy.
All right. if this podcast doesn't make it, Shay, now we know
it's
why.
my fault.
Yeah.
Next series, for the 3rd straight year, the Edmonton Oilers take out the LA Kings. First time it was in 7. Last year it was in 6. This time it's in 5 games. And I want to talk about one person in particular. Pierre-Luc Dubois is dog shit.
He's so bad, man. Oh my god. I don't even know what to this is what I don't get. Like, how is it that every time a player plays the Leafs in the playoffs, he just plays out of his goddamn mind? And then the moment he doesn't need to play the Leafs in the playoffs anymore, he just becomes like a random player. Like, does anyone remember Sean Crowley? This guy killed Toronto on 2 different teams. He killed us on Boston and Columbus. Bro hasn't done anything of note since. Like
Liam Foudy.
Oh my
Liam Foudy.
I love Liam Foudy too. That's my boy. Liam Foudy.
Yeah, he's great. I love him too.
Is he here on like fucking Nashville now? He's like
he
long gone.
got waiver claimed, I think.
Yeah, he got claimed off waivers.
I mean,
I
like,
gotta give my boy another shot.
You know what? And like, talking about PLD, you know, I'm just thinking about that whole PLD line A trade, and when that first went down, I mean, like, dude, like, that was such a big trade, especially like, it was during COVID, so like both players had to like quarantine for like a week or two, and like, it really hasn't benefited both teams. Maybe Winnipeg with the package they got back for PLD, but like, I mean, Line and Roslovic. I mean, Roslovic isn't even on Columbus anymore. I mean, Line hasn't played since like December. And like, Columbus has done nothing of note since that trade. So like, it's one of the rare trades where I think both teams kind of lost.
If you look at what the Jets got in return in the PLD trade, though, you can kind of look at it that way. Like, you got Velarde and Iafallo. What was the 2nd round pick, and then some. I think they got Kupari as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
it was like a good prospect at the time.
Yeah. I'm not so sure on Kupari now, but at the time it was a good value bet, you know, as a young piece who had
a first round draft pick from the LA Kings, right? Like they used 1st round pick on him. So like, I think if you look at it from that standpoint, you could kind of argue the Jets, but I mean, it is like both players on their respective teams just haven't really lived up to the expectations so far for totally different reasons. But
yeah. And I mean, I don't know how PLD still has that reputation as being an elite first-line power forward. Dude, he's barely a good 3rd liner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just never seen a player so lazy. I don't remember seeing a player that just doesn't have the work ethic that Pierre-Luc Dubois does.
Yeah.
It's rare, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like examples like that make me kind of wary when I look at when, like, you know, we're not doing a draft video, but like when we do draft analysis for young players, like sometimes it's like if you can pick that up early on where it might be a concern, it's like PLD is obviously an extreme example because my gosh, does he look like he doesn't give a crap when he's on the ice. But you know, if you get early signs of that, and I'm not pointing at any particular prospect. I'm not saying there's any particular prospect in this year's draft class that kind of embodies that. But you know, if you do see that, like, it's a concern, right?
Yeah.
And PLD is just like I was just saying earlier, like if we were responsible for the EA rosters for next year's game, like that guy's an 82, 83 overall
100%.
at best right now with how he's playing.
Yep. And there's even talk of like buying him out, which is a whole different conversation. But I mean, that just goes to show you like how bad he was this year. And I mean, did LA put him in the best position to succeed? Maybe not. I mean, first of all, get rid of the 1-3-1. All right, like get rid of that garbage. No one wants to see that shit anymore. I mean, most importantly, me, right? I've seen that shit for 3 straight playoffs. I want to shoot myself every time I see a 1-3-1 in a neutral zone, right? It's torture. It's torture. But, like, you know, if you want to jumpstart PLD next season, get him playing time of Kempe and Fiala. Your two best... I mean, you have the best sniper winger on that team and easily the best playmaker on that team. Put PLD between those two guys and just see if his offense comes alive. And if not, I mean, that's one of the worst contracts in the league. If he doesn't...
Then you're just cooked. Then you're just cooked.
Yeah.
Like this is only year 1 of his deal.
Yeah.
like if he's not good next year, you just gotta accept that's $8.5 million for the next 6 years.
Yep.
Like it is just what it is. You can't really do much with that.
Buy him out. I just feel like that's a viable option.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna have cap for like next however, but like I just don't see how it's a viable option keeping him in the roster if he's gonna be that bad. Like you mentioned, like year 1. Like he's already terrible, and he's got an 8-year contract.
Awful.
I don't know, man.
I mean, this is a real question. If there's a rebuilding team and your rebuilding team will off, like if you're like San Jose, right? Would you? And I'm not saying I would do it either for either team, but I'm just saying if LA offered PLD to San Jose with Brant Clark, which team says no?
I think LA says no.
I don't think that's a good idea at all to trade Brant Clark. But
I don't think so either. But I'm saying if you don't want to buy him out and you want to stay competitive, right?
And I don't know if San Jose would want a guy like PLD around their young players. I think that would create a toxic culture, to be honest.
I mean, they don't have to play like that. They need to reach the cap floor, don't they?
I guess so. I mean, that's fair.
that is true. He could. I mean, honestly, they could get a first-round pick for taking Dubois. I mean, it happened with Patrick Marleau. I
don't think Ryan wants to remember that trade.
Well, it only ended up being Seth Jarvis, but you know.
Can we not?
I'm just that's the only example I can think of. Just let
like,
I'm just
like to be fair, like I don't think of that too harshly because who knows what could have been if the pick that we
draft picks are always weird. Yeah,
like the pick we did get in that draft, like if he hadn't gone through that unfortunate situation with Amirov, like we could be looking at it completely differently, right? Like, obviously it sucks, but I think it would cost more than a first round pick because Marleau only had a year left on his deal.
That's true.
It's just that Toronto was in such a cap crunch that we were like kind of desperate and we just needed to get rid of $6 million. Like 8.5 for 6 more years, and he's like a third liner at best. And he's a locker room issue. Like that's why I brought up like Brant Clark. Like it's gotta be like an elite prospect or like multiple firsts. Like I don't think LA can just waive a first round pick at a team for them to take that on. You know, like it would have to cost something like a Brant Clark, or something of that caliber to move off of that deal. Just because the term, it's a massive term. Unless you're willing to like swap problems, like if Calgary thinks the Huberdeau situation is just not going to work out, and the two of them just swap bad contracts. But like at least Hubie is like a good locker room guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna be a Coyote
And I
or
feel, and I feel,
Utah.
I feel like Hubert. I know we're going a bit too long here, but I feel like Huberto would be the more likely bounce back candidate, especially in LA. You get I mean, listen.
Yeah,
There's no market pressure. There's no media pressure to live up to expectations in LA. He's more low key. There's way better players, I would say, on the forward end of things on the LA Kings. I think that'd be more beneficial to LA. But besides that, we'll go on to our next series here. Vancouver and Nashville. I mean, Nashville, man, just did not look good.
They were a goal away from making it look like a completely different series, and then he missed the net. So that'll always live in infamy because I had Nashville actually winning that series.
I did too.
I think I did as well.
Colton Sissons is fucking like, I hate this guy.
Yeah. Pulls up Patrick Steffen. Thanks, bud.
And I mean, like, Saros wasn't that great. I mean, I think the second half of the series, I think he was actually really good. I feel like he let them down in the first half of that series, though. I think so. I don't think he was really on his game. I think first game, the Canucks had like 4 goals on like 18 shots, not even.
Yeah.
Third game, I mean, I think that was like a 2-1 Canucks win, and even then, the Canucks still had like 15 shots. So I don't know. I would have expected more from UC Saros. I definitely expected more from guys like Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg. I think Ryan O'Reilly was probably the best player on the ice for them.
Like you know why Forsberg struggled? He just needed an elite playoff performer on his wing. That's an elite.
It's not Marner. Do not mention Marner.
Marner, you are a Nashville Predator. You are a Nashville Predator.
I feel like this is like the one series that no one gave a shit about.
Yeah, no, I can't lie. It's a pickup. Like Canucks fans are being so annoying. I can't even lie on Twitter.
Yeah, I just don't think I like Vancouver. I mean, I did have that stupid hot take from earlier in the year, but we're just not gonna mention that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care.
We'll go to the East. This one's gonna be like a 10-second review. The Rangers and the Caps.
Hey, listen. I had the Caps winning that series. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I don't like the Rangers. But I just had a hunch about the Capitals, and it didn't work out.
I had the Rangers in 6 because I thought people were like sleeping too much on the Caps. No, they just suck. Okay,
it very much reminded me of when Columbus beat Tampa. So I was like, hey, you know what? Similar storylines here are happening. They just barely made the playoffs, but that was a very stupid decision. I'm looking back at it now. I'm like, okay, the Rangers actually like really good.
To be fair, I think I had the Rangers winning in 7 because I really thought the Rangers were frauds.
They are.
I don't trust the Rangers in the playoffs. I don't think their team is built for playoff hockey. So I thought Washington was going to make a series out of it. But that I think was more so like Nick mentioned. I just kind of don't trust or believe in the Rangers at all.
Yeah.
I think Lafreniere kind of breaking out in that playoff series.
That was huge.
Was big for them. Very big for them.
And I mean, Nick knows this. Nick knows how much I hate the Rangers. I went off on them during my season previews, and even then, I think I had them second place in their division. I think I Carolina first. And I was like, I don't care what happens. These guys are fucking power play merchants and carried by Shesterkin. What happened during the playoffs? They were carried by Shesterkin in their power play. What a fucking shocker. And I can't wait to talk about that third round series when we get to it. The Canes and the Islanders. I don't know why people believe in the Islanders still. They're shit.
Yeah, that was kind of a walk for me. I'm like, yeah, Hurricanes, yeah.
They're shit.
They're winning this series. Yeah, I mean, the Islanders...
Barry Trotz Islanders anymore.
They lost 15 overtime games. How did they even make the playoffs in the first place?
Trust me, bro. As an Ilya Sorokin fantasy owner, bro, I would go into the third period being like, okay, I'm winning my matchup this week. And then I wake up the next morning, I was like, it was 4-1. How did we lose this game 5-4? What happened? It happened every week, and it kept on. Shane knows this because I was talking to him throughout the entire season. I was like, man, the 1 year I invest in a goalie in the first 2 rounds, and he shits the bed.
He shits the fucking bed.
There's no way, man. unbelievable. That Islanders defense that used to be lauded, they still can't score goals,
No.
and now they can't defend either.
And they're in
It's
cap
incredible.
hell.
Oh, yep. Hey, look. Yeah, we have a big time player here in Toronto who loves the big city.
Oh my god.
Great offensive generator. You guys need offense.
I hope you know he's staying.
We need a puck moving defenseman. We'll take Noah Dobson and Matthew Barzal, and we'll give you your superstar you've been looking for offensively. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, his name's Mitch Marner.
All right.
Great player. You'll love him.
Next series, Battle of Florida. The Panthers just destroyed Tampa, and I mean Tampa's run is basically over at this point, man. They're cooked.
Old. Their key guys. Some of their key guys are just a little bit too old.
I mean, it's literally just Kucherov carrying that team, and Vasi when he's healthy.
True.
I mean, like Stamkos 5v5, his impact this season, yikes, it was bad.
He's basically a one-time shot on the power play now. Like that's what he is.
Which is like sad, but
Cirelli hasn't really taken that step that they were hoping he'd be able to take offensively. I still think he's a great defensive center, and he's a great matchup guy. But you can't pay a guy $6+ million to be a matchup guy.
I will say, Brandon Hagel, hell of a player.
Hell of a player.
Hell of a freaking player.
That extension is looking pretty good right now.
And Tanner Jeannot, we did not talk about that.
What a great look.
I trusted. You know what? I was like one of the few people defending Breezeball for that trade. I was like, you know what? Tampa's a smart organization. These are the bets they've always made. I trusted Breezeball.
Dumb.
I don't know if I like Breezeball, man.
A lot of his moves have been questionable.
Well, Tanner Jeannot.
I mean, the Paul one was a genius one. I feel like the Paul one was a great move.
The Paul one was good, but it's like also some of the extensions. Like I know, like once you like get like every team hits the cap wall eventually, especially when they're like trying to contend. But it's like the Cirelli deal right now not looking that great. I mean, Aisima was supposed to be like a sneaky good pickup. I think he's just been kind of meh.
Yeah.
Like he's like loaded up like the bottom six with like a bunch of old slow guys.
The Dumba trade.
The Dumba. Yeah,
I mean, Duclair. I will say
Duclair was nice.
He had a Duclair. Duclair was a good fit. Duclair was a good fit.
But they gave up like I really like Jack Thompson. So I feel like Jack Thompson was probably their number 2 or 3 prospect. So I think giving him up, especially on the blue line. To be fair, Tampa seems to just generate these guys. Like
who the fuck is Lilleberg, bro?
Radish,
who is this guy?
Darren Radish or Lilleberg, like
Lilleberg. Who the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't even. Okay, well, that just shows you how much I watched the Lightning series.
I mean, like Nick Perbix came out of fucking nowhere.
Oh yeah, Perbix was weird.
Crozier, Maxwell Quasier. Like, where the fuck did they find these guys?
I have no idea.
But to be fair, like I also don't think that some of these guys were particularly good. You know what I mean? Like I think they're fine in a pinch on your bottom pair, but like I think Jack Thompson, if things went right, could have eventually been. He's a right-hand shot, pretty mobile, good passing. Like I think he could have been eventually like a number 4 or 5 on a cup contender. If everything goes right. And Tampa doesn't have many of those guys right now in the pipeline. And they gave him away for 1 year of Duclair. Like, Duclair was a great fit. It's just, asset management, from an asset management perspective for Breezeball, it's been kind of shaky the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Look, if you want an offensive superstar in the playoffs,
oh my god,
boy, do I have a name for you. 1 for 1, Kucherov for Marner. Look, Marner's.
I don't think Kucherov would want to be in Toronto, man. Did you see what he did at the All-Star game?
Look.
He hates you. That city.
That's so true.
According to half of Leafs Twitter, Mitch Marner is like a 5-time 100-point scorer. All right, elite playmaker. All right, like ignore the fact that he plays with probably the best goal scorer on the planet. Like he's just a great passer. He always shows up come playoff time. He will love it in Florida. The no state tax, like because the only thing he loves more than winning is money. So I think he'd be a great fit in Florida.
Oh my god.
I'll swap him for Kachuk too for them if you're interested.
Oh, Jesus.
Like that's out there too.
I think Marner might actually be the most hated man in Toronto. Did you see that they dropped his case when his Land Rover got jacked? They dropped the
Yeah, I
they're
saw
not
that.
charging. Yeah.
Dude,
I'm like,
hey, the
holy.
city of Toronto is even on our side. Prosecutor, DA's office is on our side, man.
All
They
right.
want to get this guy out too.
All right. Next series in the first round. Oh my! Listen. Me and Nick called it on the trade deadline. We called Edmonton.
Sorry.
We called Labushkin, and we called this Ryan. I'm sorry. We're sorry that we had to call those three things.
You know what's fucking crazy? It wasn't even Labushkin or Edmondson that sunk us. That's the crazy
That's
part.
the funniest thing too. Yeah.
That wasn't even the reason we lost. Like, they were fine. That's what I don't get. They were fine. Like, if you told me going into that series that Edmondson would be like, and Labushkin would be treading water or even, God forbid, above average, and we would lose that series, I would have lost my goddamn mind. And guess what? After it happened, I did lose my goddamn mind. I didn't touch social media for a week after that. I can't even lie. This playoff series, I feel like was the first time in like years where, as a Leafs fan watching a Leafs playoff series, I was just not emotionally invested anymore. Like, after they lost, like I just took a break for a week, but like I wasn't like mad, like I wasn't like yelling and
They
screaming.
killed my man.
I was just like, man, like this is my team. Like this is just who we are. Like I get it. Everyone's saying like, oh, like we need like more depth scoring. Like the issue is like we don't have puck movers on the blue line. If we like, dude, Eric Gustafsson would not have won us that series. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, this team's ability to just be perpetual chokers when they need to be at their best is just crazy to me. You know, like I've already like accepted my
perfect
fate
timing
for next season.
I like how Q comes when we're talking about the Leafs. It was like perfect.
Dude, like I've already accepted my fate when it comes to the Leafs for next season. If we don't trade Mitch Marner, like I know where this is headed. Like if we don't move one of Tavares from Marner, I know where we're headed next season. First round exit again. Like, this is just what it's gonna be. Like we don't have enough cap allocation to fix all the issues that we have right now. We just don't. Like, barring a miracle where Fraser Minton becomes Anthony Cirelli 2.0 and Easton Cowan becomes Braden Point 2.0 and they step in on ELCs and Matthew Nyes becomes prime Ryan O'Reilly out of nowhere and Topi Niemela becomes like a stud two-way defenseman that can move the puck and quarterback our power play, because God, Morgan Riley had one good playoff series against Tampa last year, and then this season decided to completely forget how to play defense or offense. Like, unless all of those happen, and Joseph Wall doesn't tear his ligament every time he makes a save, like, we're screwed. Like, there's not enough money to go around. Like, this team isn't gonna go anywhere. So like, I've like trade Marner or like trade Tavares, like move one of the big cap hits out and rebalance this team. Because we've had 8 years of this. It's not working, and it's not going to work. Like, that's all I got to say for this team. Like, I'm beyond disappointed. I don't like. There's nothing else to say at this point.
Well, there's your passionate Leafs rant that everyone expected.
Anacondas are locally like the ugliest snakes I've ever seen in my life.
Where did that come from?
I'm just gonna send you guys a post. This is like genuinely disgusting.
I'll look at it when we're done recording.
Is that what we compare the series to, or is that just?
I thought I don't know.
We're talking about a series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. Look. I did it for the content, but look, this until this Leafs team does something drastic to get me to buy back in, I'm done talking about them.
All right.
Like, the only thing I'm going to talk about is when their pick comes up in the draft. But knowing Treliving, we're going to trade our first round pick at the draft for like, God, I don't even know.
I don't know. Who's this year's version of Travis Hamonic?
Gosh, oh my God.
All right.
We're going to trade him for like Jamie Alexiak, bro.
All right. Second round in the West, we had the Dallas Stars against the Colorado Avalanche. This was a fun series to watch. This was a great series to watch. I mean, Nichushkin ended up getting suspended or I guess left the team again, which I don't think he's coming back to the NHL anytime soon, boys. I think he
Don't
might
do
be
drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, kids. Georgi, you know what? Georgi wasn't even that bad this series. He
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he
Dallas
wasn't the reason.
Dallas just simply was the better team.
Yeah.
And good. I do not want Nathan McKinnon to be happy.
Damn.
I thought Dallas was gonna win it all, to be honest, after they made it out of that round. But
Stuart Skinner's redeemed himself.
somehow,
Oh, we'll
That's
talk
all
about
I'm
that
gonna
series.
say.
We'll get to
We'll
that,
talk
yeah.
about that series soon. But if you're the man, this Avs team just really isn't the same. You know, they tried that 2C spot is still lacking. I know they went out and got Casey Middlestat. He just ain't Nazem Kadri. He ain't.
You don't think it's just that they miss Landeskog right now?
I don't think so. Like Lanny's a great piece. I mean, he's their captain, right? He's an important piece for them. I still think on paper the Avs should be in the Final Four almost every year. They should. They have the best defenseman in the world by far, in my opinion. Makar is unbelievable.
Don't let the Vancouver fans hear you. Oh boy.
Oh, don't worry. I'll talk
I
about
can't
their.
wait- I
I'll
can't wait to
listen.
start getting KPL
I'll
on
talk
Twitter.
about their shitty defensemen when we get to Edmonton and Vancouver. Don't you worry about that. But no, Makar's unbelievable. They still got McKinnon, Lehkonen, Ranton is a beast. He still doesn't get enough respect. Ross
Can we not
Colton's a
talk
good
about
player. Like,
Rantanen?
there's good pieces on that team. They should be in the third round every year. They should. I don't like without Landeskog. This should be a team that should still compete for the cup every year.
I mean, like, yes, their defense is supposed to be great, but I also think that their blue line has regressed since their cup winning days, and their goalie is
I mean, has it though?
tragically inconsistent.
Has it? I mean, the only guy they basically lost is Byron. I mean, Byron
Byron-
really hasn't gotten better since that cup run.
Byron was at his best in his cup run. He was looking like he was projecting to be like a legitimate top four option for them. Sean Walker was abysmal.
Oh,
that
Walker was
series.
terrible.
Sam Girard doesn't look the same. Like that's what I mean by regression. Like they didn't necessarily lose pieces, but like players that were playing at their best on that cup run are not playing up to that level. Like outside of that top pair, like can we really confidently say the rest of that blue line is playing like the way they did?
I think
on the cup
Mance has
run?
been pretty solid since then.
To be fair, like I haven't heard much about Manson, so that's probably usually like a good thing if you're a defenseman. But like I think that entire blue line was just incredible on their cup run, and they made Kemper's life easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't lie. Like yes, Georgiev is like a human sieve with pads, but like some of those goals that he let in this playoffs, like it's not just like he's a bad goalie. It's the defensive coverage in front of him is just not great either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that didn't happen on their cup run. I just think that they've gone looser as a team defensively. And I don't know if that's because they need Landeskog in the locker room. You know, I don't know if it's they used to outscore their problems, so the problems didn't look that big. And now that they don't have that, you know, elite power play one with Kadri, Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen and Makar, like now you can't outscore your problems. But like, you know, like I don't know, like it's just I think that team just regressed as a whole.
That's fair. Next series, Edmonton, Vancouver. I
dear.
wanted to shoot myself every time there was a game on because I hate everything about that shitty Canucks team. I hate their fans. I hate their city. Yeah, I know I was born there. I don't give a fuck. I hate their jerseys. I hate their horn. Quinn Hughes is a midget. Pedersen is a bitch. And I'm so happy that we got through them and we beat them. All year, I had to hear trash talk about how they fucking swept us in the regular season, how they beat us 8-1 in the home opener, how they broke us, and that's why we fired Woodcroft, and that's why we were 32nd in the league to start the season. Guess what, you fucks? We beat you guys. You guys suck
I'm gonna say
ass. Evan Bouchard owns Quinn. Evan Bouchard owns Quinn Hughes. I'll say it right now. He's better than Quinn Hughes. Where was Quinn Hughes all playoffs? Guess what? Phil fucking Broberg has more playoff goals than Quinn Hughes in these playoffs. That's all I'll say. I'm happy.
Look, Vancouver, I feel your pain. Look, I will offer you a 1-for-1 trade right now.
Oh
Playoff
God,
competition
no.
for Quinn Hughes for Mitch Marner. The deal is 1-for-1. You need a playmaker. You need some offense to go up against Connor McDavid and that Oilers behemoth. This trade will benefit you. We'll take the lefty. It's all good. It's all gravy. All right.
You know what the funny thing is too is Skinner had a .833 save percentage that series, and we still won.
Oh, he was bad.
And we still won. It was so bad that we had to put in Calvin Pickard, who actually looked good.
Who actually played really well.
Yeah,
He actually looked good.
He's been decent the whole season.
I don't know. Listen, if there's one thing I will say about Knobloch, he has the fucking balls. He has major balls, and he took out his starter, put in the backup, and then when the season was on the line, put in back the starter, and it worked out. So,
That's his balls. I can't lie.
That's balls.
Putting Skinner back in.
and credit to
That
Skinner,
did
he was
work.
good in Game 6 and 7. And, yeah, just I hope you miss the playoffs next year, Vancouver. It'd be so funny. East. All right. So in the East, I mean, first of all, do you guys have any thoughts on Vancouver Edmonton? I know I just hijacked the entire section. Just kind of like I don't know. I might have to cut out some of the stuff I said because I kind of went a
probably.
bit too far. I might have.
You probably
Just that
you
Bouchard
probably
is
need to
really
start,
good.
you probably start you need to probably like beep out a bunch of stuff that you said. we'll say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I mean like the Canucks just looked out of their depth. Hronek wasn't great. Ian Cole didn't look great. Zadorov had his moments, but was also like I think overhyped by Vancouver fans throughout that series. I don't
Pedersen
think
was
he
awful. Like he was a
played
ghost. He was actually a ghost.
Well,
Look,
they say
Vancouver, we need a centerman.
Oh
You need
my
a winger.
God.
Jesus.
We'll trade you Mitch Marner for Elias Pettersson, please.
Dude, if
Captain
you
match.
think Lee fans are harder on Marner, imagine Canuck fans on Marner. They would kill him.
Hey, good. I mean, what?
What?
Oh, poor Mitch. Oh no. Oh, we can't send him to Vancouver now. What would he ever do with his $11 million that he stole from from Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment? What would he ever do when Ranson and Point signed for less than 9.5, and Aho got 8.5, and Mitch was like, "Oh, Panarin got 11.6 in unrestricted free agency. Let me try to get as close to that number as possible." What would he ever do with that extra $5 million he got over his contract? And let's not forget the probably $50 million he made in endorsements in Toronto. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, the Vancouver fans are going to be meaner to him than we are. Jeez, give me a break. Oh, my bad. Poor Mitch. My fault. We all have to coddle him. Don't you guys get it? He's a nice kid from the Toronto area. You gotta be nice to him. My fault, guys.
I'm so happy Bouchard is like breaking out this year as well as like.
And he's
just
still
this,
not getting
like,
any
awesome
respect,
player.
which pisses me
I
off.
don't understand, man. I just don't get it. He had like one bad giveaway in a playoff game I watched. I think it was against
It
the
was game
Canucks, I don't
2. It was
remember.
game 5 against Vancouver. I know which one.
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
that's what I'm thinking of. But like, he's just
that's why he's
just
bad.
awesome. No, he's not. I've watched him for like I've watched him forever. Like he played on London. I watched him. Like he's just an awesome player. Like,
I like to
get it.
shove Bouchard just because I know that pisses Shay off.
No, I know you when you're trolling. I know now. In the East, we had Florida and Boston, aka the two teams Toronto wants to lose, both of them. And
yeah, that was a tough one to pick.
I mean, Boston is just not good. They're not. Like I don't know how they had such a good regular season.
Thanks, Jay. That makes me and Q feel real great.
You got goalied. You got goalied.
That's
We
true.
didn't get goalied. We
That's
always
true, yeah.
say that. Fucking Carey Price goalied us. Tuukka Rask. 2 generations of Boston Bruins goalies have goalied us.
but I feel like their
We
depth
got
came through.
goalied by Rask. We got goalied by Swayman. We're getting goalied by Merzlikins and Korpisalo in the same series in the same game somehow. We got goalied by bloody Carey Price. We got goalied by Braden Holtby. We got goalied by every goalie we've ever played in the playoff. We got goalied by Bob. like got goalied by Vasi for a couple of years. Like every goalie we play, we get goalied against. At that point, at some point, we're not getting goalie. We're just crap. Like we just can't score. Like,
feel like
it's
Boston's-
not a goalie thing.
I feel like Boston's depth came through that series though. Like John Beecher was amazing first game, then Justin Brazeau comes along, and then Charlie Coyle scores another goal.
Why
It's
is that guy so big?
Brazeau?
Brazeau?
He's so big.
Didn't
I
the Leafs
don't
sign
know.
him at one point? Was he a Leafs property at
Can
one
we
point?
not
so
talk?
weird.
Can we not talk about Brazeau, bro? I'll do this. If this guy steps out of this organization without playing a single game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it'll be considered a failure. Bro has his first season in Toronto ruined by COVID, and then next year we just decide, yeah, let's just cut him. Forget what we said about him leaving and not developing and being a failure. Let's just let him go across the street to Boston. Every time, man. Why does this always happen to us?
And I
He
mean,
looks
Every
good.
time.
I just I don't know what Boston does over the summer too, because they still don't really have a lot of young players coming up in the pipeline. And I don't know, that's such a murky future. Like I feel like in a few years they're gonna be bottom of the league for a long time.
They got some guys I like Patra, I think, is going to develop into a nice little player for them.
Bergeron
Lysell,
2.0.
I'm kind of iffy on. Beckett Hendrickson's a guy I really like. I highlighted him for the Leafs for last year's draft, and of course Boston drafted him. I think he's playing for Minnesota, I think, in NCAA this year.
Lorai's good.
Lorai looked good.
Lorai is good. So they've got some guys, but I agree. The last couple of years, they've been trying to go all in with the end of Bergeron and Marchand's prime, or playable years, and they were just trying to go all in with that team, and they gave up a lot of futures for it, and it hasn't really worked out. But as a Leafs fan, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because I feel like this fan base, at least my fan base, has been preying on Boston's downfall for 5 years now.
I
It's
mean,
like,
they
oh,
don't
this year they're
die.
gonna
They
be
don't
crap.
fucking die.
They won't die, man. It's like a boogeyman. He won't go away.
I think it just shows that Jim Montgomery's like a top 3 coach in the league.
Oh, he's amazing.
Montgomery is great. I do wonder if the move that they're gonna have to make is breaking up that goalie tandem.
Oh, Olmark's gone. I would have said
Yeah,
Olmark is gone.
If they, because they're gonna pay Swayman, I don't think that they can afford to run Swayman's gonna get 6-7 mil. They can't afford to run a $12 million net.
And they have a goalie.
Yeah, and Allmark's an asset, and they don't
Yeah.
have anything up front.
You can trade Olmark to get a big offensive weapon.
That's what I'm
That's their biggest weakness offensively. They needed another offensive weapon in their top 6. I like Pavel Zacha. He's not a true 1C, man. He's a good 2C.
Yeah, I mean, if you can move Zach, the thing with Boston is you give them a 1C, and I think they're set. Because if you can push Zacha down to 2C and then have Coyle play 3C,
Oh, yeah,
where he's
you're
supposed to be
set.
playing, now all of a sudden that weakness looks like a hell of a strength. And the thing is, they have to do it for next season, because I don't know how many years Brad Marchand has left. This year, you're already starting to see signs of him slowing down a little
Dude,
bit.
what happened to Pasternak in these playoffs too? Even against Florida, he was just
Yeah,
I mean,
Boston was kind of
Barkov is a Selke winner, and there's a reason for it, because he's been unbelievable these playoffs at shutting down the top guys. But Pasternak was invisible. He scored the OT winner, but after what else did he do after that?
You just had to throw that in.
He did nothing
Seriously.
until that point. That was the issue.
Yeah,
He should have kept on doing nothing, but we
Yeah. The guy decided, you know what? I'm gonna just coast and ghost the entire playoff series until the very last moment, and then
And he
I'm gonna tear your heart out.
He got beat up by Kachuk. That's another thing he did. But I mean, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, hey, look, if Pasternak's an issue, Boston, we have
Oh
a right
my
way
God,
to
bro.
swap with you.
Oh my
I'm
lord.
just saying,
And-
Mario for Pasta.
So you want another underperforming playoff performer?
Hey, at least this underperforming playoff player will shoot the puck on net instead of dragging it into the boards every other play and losing the puck every
It
time the
looks
player
cool,
comes
though.
within half a feet.
It looks cool.
though.
It's so. Oh god, I love my no look between the legs pass between the boards. It's especially beautiful when I pass it directly to the other team and they're in the slot with our puck. Mitch. I'm sorry, I can't be mean to the guy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Leafs fans. I can't be mean to him. My fault,
next-
my fault.
Next series in the East, I had the Canes in 4 against the Rangers because the Rangers aren't good, and I was really hoping that reverse sweep was gonna happen.
Me too.
And it
me
almost did
too.
until they freaking just stopped playing. And then Chris Kreider's like, I'm going to score a natural hat trick.
Yeah, well, that's playoff Freddy.
I don't get it. Like, I don't get how the Canes every fucking year underperform. I don't get it.
Well,
How?
there's a reason why Don Waddell just left. I mean, I don't know.
And, like, have you seen their free agent list this year? It's crazy.
It's bad, yeah.
Yeah, they're cooked. It's over for them. That's the end of that team.
I feel like that was like the last good year for them to like make a push to the cup, and it didn't happen.
To be fair, like I know, like everyone likes to like suck off Brendan Moore, but like
He's
I
not
don't-
that
I'm
good.
Not gonna lie, like his system is kind of trash.
It's
Dude,
like
I
it's
think
good.
they
It's
gave
good
away the most
defensively.
breakaways.
It's good defensively, but offensively, it's terrorism. It's just point shots from the blue line. That's
I don't
what
even
it
think
is.
it's that good defensively. Like the man-to-man is just like it's not good. Like I think they gave up. There's a stat. I think they gave up like the most breakaways in the league like before the playoffs started, and that's like not good at all. Like I don't think anything really worked for them at all these playoffs, like offensively or defensively. I mean,
and their goaltending was shaky.
oh yeah, that was
They
pretty weird
stuck with
too. I mean,
they stuck with Freddie, and
a lot of respect to him for coming back, but like he just wasn't really on his A game either.
You had Kochetkov just waiting in the wings. I don't.
Yeah,
get the
I
lack
don't
of
know why.
I
defense.
don't think
That's what I
Kachukov
mean.
will help them.
Maybe not, but I don't understand why he doesn't get as many
Like,
games.
like
as he
you gotta give your team like a shot to rally behind something. You know, they come into game 1 and 2 flat. Like the goalie's obvious. Like you don't want to blame it all on the goalie, but if you switch up the goalie, you kind of shake things up. You go, hey, fight for this young guy making his, I don't know how many playoff games Kachekhov's played, but like he hasn't played many playoff games. So you gotta fight in front of him, right? He's gonna battle. You gotta battle for him. And instead, he kind of just stuck Freddie in there to dry the entire series, and he just kind of never got on his game.
Yep.
Rangers are still frauds, though. We'll get.
We'll get to that. All right. Third round in the West, the Dallas Stars against the Edmonton Oilers, and I mean, I am so proud of how we played. We'll get to Game 6 in a sec, but Game 1 when that game went to double overtime, and the Oilers killed off that double minor in the first overtime.
huge.
It was huge, and we'll get to the Oilers speaking when we start previewing the finals. But it just seemed like when Edmonton killed off the double minor in Game 1, you just kind of had that feeling like, you know what, I don't think Edmonton's going to lose this game. And McDavid had that great chance earlier. I mean, it was a great save by Ottinger, but also I don't know why Connor waited like 30 fucking years to shoot the puck there. I just like, come on, man. And I feel like that getting that split on the road was really beneficial. They're down 2-0 in Game 4. They come back from that. They go back on the road. Probably play their best game I've ever seen them play. Game 5 against Dallas on the road. That was like the perfect shutdown road hockey game, and the only goal against was a great tip from Wyatt Johnson. Nothing Skinner can do there. And in Game 6, I mean, the Oilers did what they had to. They got 2 power plays. They scored on both. And even though the shot totals were 35-10 at the end of that game for Dallas, a lot of those shots weren't even high quality, I would say, either. The Oilers did a great job of, limiting the quality against the Dallas Stars. Their in-zone defense was great. And even when Dallas was starting to push in the final 5 minutes, Stuart Skinner made the big saves he had to. Dallas, I thought this was Dallas' year, to be honest. I had in my bracket Dallas beating Edmonton and the Stars beating the Panthers to win the cup. And I don't know what you really do if you're Dallas heading into the offseason. I mean, you're probably going to lose a guy like Duchesne in free agency. He's going to want some money. Probably going to get like a bigger deal elsewhere.
It's probably the last real quality year you're gonna get from Pavelski too.
He's probably retiring.
Yeah, that's what he said. If I were them, I would trade Jason Robertson for Mitch Marner.
Yes, I agree.
Oh man.
Just if I were them.
Like obviously, honestly, you make it a package though. Rupe Hintz and Jason Robertson, 2 disappearers for 1. I think that would be a great deal.
That's true.
I mean,
throw you the ghost of Jake Muzzin.
The ghost of Jake Muzzin. And I mean, if there's one thing I will say, Dallas, I don't know if the Oilers' PK was just that amazing or if the Dallas power play was just that bad. Because, oh boy, it kind of generated nothing.
You know what would help out their power play?
Oh my god, bro, no.
Hey, Mitch Marner. I'm just saying. Look.
Is it Martin a one on the power play that makes it worse?
Look. Mitch Marner is a 5-time 100-point scorer in the NHL.
What are you talking? What?
I have many sources
Is that even true?
across the Leafs Twitter that keep
Bro,
on
he's
telling
never
me
hit
that
it once.
Mitch
What are you
Marner-
talking about?
Hey, look. All I'm gonna tell you is what other people have been telling me. They're like, we can't trade Mitch. He's a 100-point player. I was like, oh my god, really? And he'd be like, yeah. For the past 5 seasons, he's been a 100-point scorer. You don't think that would help out on the power play? Where else would he be getting those points from? 100 points a season? Gee, that's a lot. I don't know how many players could do that every year. God, I hate my fan base, man. I fucking hate my fan base. Sorry. Yeah. So we were talking about Dallas. Thomas Harley, great. Mississauga still has legend. Love him.
I thought Harley had a pretty bad showing these playoffs.
He did, but he's still my boy. So I'm just gonna pretend that he had a good series.
Right.
Look, if Leafs fans can pretend Mitch Marner is a great playoff performer, I can pretend that Thomas Harley is a great playoff performer. Right?
I will say Chris Tanev is a warrior. So much respect to Chris Tanev for.
Yeah.
So much respect.
Oh, he's insane.
You know what? Sagan and Pavelski look actually pretty okay. I thought they were kind of cooked. They look good. They look good this series, I thought.
So Sagan's still okay. I think Sagan's been sneaky under the radar, decent this year.
Yeah.
He's not, 9 point or however much money he's making $1 million per year good, and that contract's going to be an issue because I'm pretty sure Robertson's deal expires before Sagan's does.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jason Robertson, sorry.
Yeah. And Stankoven and Wyatt Johnston are going to need contract extensions, and Thomas Harley and Ottinger. So, the cap crunch is going to come.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, the other thing was Ottinger, he dropped off in the second half of the series.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even think it's Ottinger's fault, man. I think he did what he had, the best he could.
I mean, for the first few games, I would say so, yeah. But, after that, it just seemed like...
I think in Game 4, Dallas looked dead in the water as soon as Edmonton pushed. Game 5, I don't know.
Game 5, I remember him being pretty decent, but
And then,
I don't know that for sure.
I mean, sure, he lets in 2 goals on 10 shots in Game 6, but, that McDavid goal is just freaking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And then what? You just Hyman's alone in a slot going upstairs. I don't know if there's a lot of blame around for Jake Ottinger.
Must be nice having a superstar that actually makes Zach Hyman play good. Imagine that. Imagine having superstars that show up in the playoffs instead of blaming the $2 million guy on the fourth line for not scoring more goals. Jeez. Wow. What a concept. Wow. It's almost like our best players should be our best players instead of Matthew Nyes.
I like how half this podcast is just us talking about the playoffs and the other half is just Ryan talking about the Leafs.
That's what I mean. Just a
Eastern,
Marner theme.
in the East, guess what? The Rangers should have got swept by Florida, But guess what? Guess what kept them alive? Their power play in Igor Shesterkin. What a shocker.
Hey, you know what? At least the Rangers have a power play that works in the playoffs.
Oh my
Said the same thing
Oh
about
my
Boston.
god.
I'm just saying. How many power plays do we have against Boston this year? We were 1 for 25 on the power play. We make fun of the Rangers and they're frauds. Don't get me wrong, but at least their power play isn't fraudulent. You'd think $50 million on a power play, they'd be able to score a goal or two. But
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any thoughts for the third round because I was so fixated on watching OHL playoffs and the Memorial Cup. But
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I know you guys didn't win the Memorial Cup. At least you won the what's the OHL Cup?
J.
called?
Ross Robertson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. Yeah, that's a big deal. That last game, I mean, I'm actually kind of pissed at our fan base because there's just been so many excuses being thrown out about this game, the Memorial Cup final. And we got, at the end of the day, we had 13 shots the entire game. You don't win a fucking hockey game by shooting 13 shots.
The fact that they even got it close. was impressive.
They came back. Now listen, like I watched when they came back 6-2 against Oshawa, and like that was insane. So like, you don't count them out, but it wasn't their year, and then they got scored on with 20 seconds to go. It was an unfortunate goal. That shit happens, but maybe we'll be back. I don't know if next year's team is going to be like as deep, especially if like Cowan and Dickinson aren't there, but we'll see what happens. I mean, but like the OHL championship was a huge deal too.
Does that mean rookie of the year, Easton Cowan?
You mean Mitch Marner replacement? Easton Cowan?
You know what? You know what the funny thing is? You know who Easton Cowan's favorite player growing up was? Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner.
I know.
What did he do? I know what. Never mind. There's too many comparisons. That's the issue.
If Easton Cowan becomes Mitch Marner 2.0, oh, that'd be so funny. It'd be the funniest thing in the world.
You know what the crazy thing is though? Like, I know for a fact that Cowan's gonna be better than Marner because he's just got that dog in him. Marner don't got no dog in him, bro. Every time he gets closed in the playoffs, he doesn't have 5 feet of space to work with. Bro just throws the puck away.
And Cowan's Cowan's a peskier player. He'll fight back. Yeah, I watched him punch some guy's lights out in Sarnia when I went. Like, it's like Jesus.
Like Mitch would be like, yo, take your stick. My fault.
Stop crying, little bitch. Like fucking Nylander told him. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, man.
You don't have to tell Cowan.
Pisses me off. It's like pisses me off so much, man. Like, God, like, oh, I want to be a Leaf. It's been a dream to be a Maple Leaf. Stop. Act like it. God damn it, man. Like.
So, any thoughts on Rangers, Florida?
No,
not really.
I mean, Florida's on a wagon right now in that Eastern Conference. I don't think there's a better team. Just from like a toughness perspective, a team cohesiveness perspective, a culture perspective, a talent perspective. It's tough to find a better team right now in the East.
And no offense, Shay, but I don't think there's it'll be close, maybe.
Well, I mean, we'll leave that into the preview now. And you know what? I know so many people are choosing the Panthers to win the series, and I mean rightfully so, right?
I'm not.
You know what? Oh,
you're weird.
Thanks, Ryan. You know what? Like, the Oilers have been counted out all fucking season. They have. When they were 2-9-1, no one fucking thought they would make the playoffs. No one did. Everyone thought this was the end of the McDavid era. This was the end of the McDrysdale era. They bring in Chris Knoblauch. There was a bumpy road to start, and then they go 24-3 in their next 27 games. An 8-game win streak followed by a 16-game win streak with 3 losses in between. They get to the playoffs. You know what? Fine. Yeah, everyone had to beat in LA. That one's kind of an easy series. Against Vancouver, there was a lot of people choosing the Canucks in that series. And when the Oilers went down 3-2, people were calling their raps. The Canuck fans are already celebrating. Talk about Dallas. Talk about Demko starting Game 1 against Dallas. Guess what? The Oilers come back, win Game 6, win Game 7. Up against Dallas, most people had Dallas winning that series. No one would think the Oilers could beat Dallas. And if they did, probably in a Game 7. You know what they did? They go to Game 1, win in double overtime. A gritty, defensive game. Game 2, another tight game. It was 2-1, right? Game 3, you know what? Yeah, that kind of showed some of the old signs of the Oilers, where they get off to a good start, and then they fall back into bad habits. They were bad defensively that game, couldn't get a save, no depth scoring, right? And since that point on, Game 4, 5, and 6 were works of art for this team. They got the depth scoring. They were great defensively. They got the saves. The thing that's been killing them for the last 6 years. They got the saves from Skinner. And now, once again, heading into the Cup final, they're being counted out. And you know what? That's fine. Because this team has been proving everyone wrong all season. And I have faith in them that they can pull this out. Florida's going to be their toughest opponent by far. I'm not scared of Florida. I'm not scared by their physicality. I'm not scared by their defense. I'm not scared by their scoring. I'm not scared of Bobrovsky. If there's one thing that does scare me about Florida, it's how they forecheck. Their forecheck is just relentless. But if they can contain that forecheck and play a calm defensive game, I think the Oilers will win this series in 6. I do. Florida takes a lot of power penalties. That favors Edmonton. And sure, I know the Panthers power play is good. The Oilers PK is phenomenal. They didn't allow a single goal in the Dallas series. Didn't allow a single goal in the Kings series. They've allowed 3 power play goals all playoffs long. And my final point is this. McDavid and Draisaitl have waited years. Yeah, I'm going to throw in Nugent Hopkins too because he's a career Oiler. I got to throw in my boy. They've waited years to get to this point. Should have happened a long time ago, but they're finally here. I get that Florida was there last year, and there's some hunger to win it this year. I'm not counting out McDavid and Draisaitl in the Stanley Cup final. Who knows if they'll ever make it back here? I have Edmonton 6. Just because of that.
And
you want to go next?
Sure. I was just going to say, Edmonton really does remind me of the 2016 Penguins. And there was a point when making my little bracket thing that if I wasn't going to be picking the Stars, I would have picked the Oilers. If you go back, this is 8 years ago now, which is crazy. 2016, 2015, the Penguins had Mike Johnston as their coach. They were one of the worst teams in the league. They fired him. They bring in Mike Sullivan. They were the hottest team in the NHL up until the playoffs, and they blitzed through the playoffs, and they won the Cup. I see a lot of similarities in this team. I don't think Stuart Skinner is like, the Matt Murray level that he was, but they have McDavid, they got Draisaitl, they got Zach Hyman, they've got Nugent Hopkins. They just have a really, really solid team all around. They got Evan Bouchard, and they fix up their defense by getting Ekholm, and Kulak has looked okay as well from what I've seen as well. I think the true X factor for them, will be Stuart Skinner if he can kind of keep that momentum going from the third round, because he was a lot better in that third round. The thing with Florida is that it's kind of the same deal. They're just so good all around, and they were here last year. I would love Edmonton to win. I really would. I would love to see McDavid live in the Cup. It would just be awesome. There's been a lot of dark days in Edmonton. I think they do deserve it, but I just don't see Florida losing another finals. I don't see it happening twice in a row. That hasn't happened since the 70s. I looked it up. Boston was the last team to do it, and it was against the Habs. I don't see Florida winning it. I think it'll go to 6 or 7. I'm gonna say 7 just because it's the Cup final. I'm gonna say Florida, but I would love Edmonton to win. I honestly would be happy with either one. There are players from both sides that I think would, what's the word I'm looking for? There's players from both that I would love to see lift in the Cup. So,
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna say 6, but I do think it'd be really funny if Edmonton lost, just because I love you, Shay. But
I don't know if it'd be funny, but
no, just because of Shay. That's the only reason.
Fair enough, but I mean,
would it be funny?
I would still feel bad. I would genuinely feel bad because I would love Edmonton to win the Cup. Also, Canada hasn't won a Cup for 30 years now, so.
Man, okay. Let's.
I'm surprised that a Leafs fan would cheer for Florida. That's because I thought you guys hated them.
I'm not cheering for Florida. I'm just saying it'd be funny if Edmonton lost.
Okay.
I don't care.
Say your thing. Sorry, I interrupted you.
But let's be honest here. Every Canadian fan that says, we need a Canadian team to win. They just want their Canadian team to win.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I feel like in 2021 it was different. I feel like no one wanted to see Tampa Bay win, and Montreal just had I know you didn't want Montreal to win, but I know Nick did. I think you did, Ryan. I think you were for Montreal in 21.
I was
Oh yeah, because Tampa was in that final. I just didn't want to see them.
Yeah, I did not want to see Tampa win, and also I just thought that it was gonna be a nice story because I've been a huge Carey Price fan for my entire life. And just seeing his return to form that playoff run was just outstanding. And I wish they could have finished that just for him. But yeah, I was rooting for Montreal that year.
They kind of the Oilers kind of remind me of the Habs that playoff run too, because Mark Bergevin was their fucking GM, and everyone was like, "Oh, Bergevin sucks." And then Ken Holland's their GM, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ken Holland sucks." But here they are in the finals. It's crazy. It's crazy.
5 more years.
No, he's done. He's done. He's thankfully done after this. Thank God. It's been a long 5 years with that guy.
And rehire Peter Chiarelli.
You know what's so funny? I know we're going off topic here. A lot of the core, are Shirley guys. Bouchard's a Shirley guy. McLeod's a Shirley guy. Stuart Skinner's a Shirley guy. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. But what's your prediction, Ryan?
I've been known from time to time on this podcast for my outlandish predictions and takes. And you know what? Sometimes they've paid off for me. When I had... Leo Carlson going over Fantilli, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone thought I was just trying to be different when I had Yzerman not in the top 2 at the start of the year. I think that this playoff series is going to start in Florida, right?
Yep.
And I don't think it's going back to Florida. And I think Edmonton takes it in 4. Now, before y'all start calling me dumb and crazy and stupid, which I know you guys are thinking right now, let me explain myself. All right. Look, there are narratives in sports. You know what I mean? And how many years now have we been talking about Connor McDavid's legacy? Every time anyone tries to call Connor McDavid the greatest hockey player of all time, what does everybody say? He's not better than Gretzky because he hasn't won like Gretzky has, right? And as a guy who's been a Raptors fan for almost all my life, and I've watched the will of one man who was chasing an all-time great in LeBron James, you do not count out a guy chasing GOAT status. You just don't bet against him. And Connor McDavid, in a down year, has been incredible this playoff run. He has elevated his teammates on that line. Zach Hyman went from scoring 1 point to every playoff run with the Maple Leafs to looking like a legitimate first line guy. And you know the last player I can think of who had that kind of impact on their teammates?
Crosby.
Funny enough, it's Nick's guy, Sidney Crosby, Chris Kunitz, Pascal Dupuis, Jake Gensel, Phil Kessel, although Kessel played more with Malkin, I think. But that ability to elevate their line, their teammates, and galvanize them, and like Shay mentioned, it's been a long time brewing. And how great would it be in the modern NHL where skill is king? We have probably the most skilled player I've seen in my entire life in Connor McDavid going up against what is the nastiest team in hockey. It is the definition of David versus Goliath, right? We have Ken Holland in probably his last season of a storied career, right? Who built those great Detroit teams, right? Has been slandered throughout his entire Edmonton tenure, right? Stuart Skinner, who everybody questioned at the start of this season whether this guy could be the future in net for the Edmonton Oilers. I think that Stuart Skinner is going to play out of his goddamn mind. I think that Connor McDavid is going to cement his status as the greatest hockey player in the world, right? There's going to be no more debate after this series between him and Austin Matthews, between him and Nathan McKinnon. I don't know why we ever had that conversation in the first place. It's always been McDavid. I think he's going to prove it in this series. I think Florida is going to try to contain him. But I'm going to be honest, Shay, and you're going to have to agree with me here. I think the Oilers' whistle this playoffs has been pretty fair and friendly.
I'd say so.
I don't think they've been caught too hard. And I think that Florida is going to get out of their game to try to get in Edmonton's head, and by result are going to get in their own heads. And I think that especially if Edmonton goes into game 1, punches Florida in the face, takes game 1, I think that momentum, the storyline, the legacy, the hunger between two guys whose commitment to Edmonton has been questioned through no fault of their own, because neither of them have ever said anything that would suggest that they don't want to be back in Edmonton. They don't want to win in Edmonton. But every Leafs fan has basically said McDavid is coming to Toronto. Everyone thinks Draisaitl is leaving after his next contract ends. I think those two guys are going to dig deep, and they're going to will that team. And I think they're going to want to finish it in Edmonton. They want to raise that cup in Edmonton, so they're going to win in 4. And if they don't, this is kind of like a cop-out, but if they don't, they're going to win in game 6. I think they're not going to let that cup be lifted in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I think they're going to win, and they're going to win in Edmonton. So that's my bet. I'm not betting against the GOAT. That's just how it's going to be. So I got Edmonton 4 or 6.
I'd love that, man. I'd love
that sounds more, hot takey, but it's 4 or 6.
I will say it's interesting seeing Tkachuk and Bennett on this team because they played for the Flames and they've played against Edmonton and battled Alberta. I think they'll know how to get in their heads as well.
They'll get in Nurse's head for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say Uyghur, but I forgot he's on the Flame. So
We forget. Did we saw who's refereeing for these finals, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I mean,
Yeah, it's Steve
Oh, I
fucking
forgot
Kazari.
about Kazari.
Oh yeah, whatever. You know what? But like, you know what? Like,
Those are the
like
two
Ryan,
games.
you know what? Like
Those are the
Ryan,
two games.
what like Ryan has said. I honestly think the reffing, when it comes to the Oilers games, from what I've seen, I think it's been fine. You know, and if there is a bad call, I've been saying the same thing as I have been for the past year now. Fucking kill it off. Kill off the penalty. It's a bad call. Don't fucking cry about it. Kill it off. And that's what they've been doing. They've been killing it off. So, you know, if
It's like that William Nylander meme. Stop fucking crying.
exactly, stop fucking crying. It's
Just
the playoffs.
win.
Just win.
Just win.
Win. And I have all the faith in the world in these guys. But like that third round against Dallas has given me some confidence. And if they lose this series, I don't know how I'm gonna take it, because who knows if we ever get back here, right? And I mean, yeah, I don't want to think about losing the series. I think they'll win. I feel like they'll win this series, and we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a great final. It's gonna be an entertaining final. I'll say that.
you gonna go to any games?
I got game 3. I got the first home game.
Oh, that's
And
good.
So-
all I'm
That's
gonna say
awesome.
is I was considering buying tickets for the Leafs game. Thank God I didn't. Oh my lord, what a waste of money that would have been.
I went to game 1 of the OHL final against Oshawa, and that was a crazy atmosphere. So
Oh,
I can
yeah.
only imagine how like
A cup
Stanley Cup
finals
final
in
game would
Canada, like, you know,
be. Yeah,
like I haven't, like, because like I started watching hockey in 2012, right? So I didn't even watch the Vancouver series and like the Habs series. I mean, there's no fans, and like this is good. This is gonna be special. This city. You guys obviously don't live in Edmonton, but like I thought that was a fart for a sec. But no, this city is so hyped up about this team. Like I'm going downtown tomorrow at the arena for the watch party, and like you can't even exit downtown during an Oilers game. It'll take you an hour just to leave. That's how crazy it is here. And if they do the thing, man, fuck,
I just have one request for you, Shay. If God forbid you guys do lose this series, please tell your fan base not to burn down Banff National Park. I would love to visit there one day. And
Don't worry, we're not Canuck
please,
fans.
Just leave Banff. Just leave.
Leave
if you
Banff
want to burn
alone.
Calgary or wherever else, like go for it. Just leave Banff. All right. I need to visit there one day.
All
You
right.
want to
It's
trade
on my
Bam
bucket
for
list.
Mitch Marner?
I would trade
Banff.
I would trade Mitch Marner for Banff in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Banff is beautiful. Banff is consistent. Banff is always there for you no matter what.
Oh my god.
Doesn't pull a disappearing act, and Banff doesn't cost you $10.9 million against the cap. And
You know,
in
it's
fact, Banff makes you money because you have to pay to go there. What's not to love about Banff?
I like about the finals too how Drake betted on one team and the NHL simmed for another team. It's like what curse is actually going to be real after the finals.
The EA curse holds more weight. I mean, Drake. Listen, Drake is just due for a win at this point.
Drake's just stupid. I fucking hate Drake. But anyways,
Didn't Drake vote for the Celtics?
because
Celtics suck game 1.
Oh, hey, maybe the finals are a sort of a winning streak for him because the Celtics are looking real good.
Yep. We have 20 minutes here in the call. We'll get to the second part of this podcast, which was predicting award winners.
Oh God.
We'll start with the Jim Gregory Gym of the Year award. It's the award winner is supposed to come out in 3 days. Where the fuck are the finalists?
It's Alvin for the Canucks, Nil for Dallas, and Zito for Florida.
I think it's Zito.
Zito, yeah, he's been unbelievable since he's taken over. Specifically this season, it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting Forsling on that sweetheart.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Gustav Forsling. Dude, I was ready to pay this guy $6 million in unrestricted free agency, and they locked him in for under 5. Unbelievable.
And they got him on waivers
sick.
in the first place. But anyways, that's a whole other thing.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Hey, Q. Just imagine players that enjoy playing for your team not gouging your team for every dollar that they can get.
Okay, to be fair, there's
such a
state
crazy
tax. There's
concept.
state tax involved.
Oh my god. So this so you have to pay an extra $2 million in state tax in Toronto, but you get 10 times the endorsements deals that you would get in Florida. I'm so sorry, Mitch. It's the income tax. It was the income tax. That's why he needed the extra $2 million. It's not like he made enough from fucking. I don't even. All I know is like every time I go on, I drive in Toronto, I see a Mitch Marner ad somewhere. All right, he's got like 5 billboards in the city. All right, that's how I know you don't need the extra $2 million.
The next award, the one Ryan hates for some reason, Willie O'Ree Community
Bro, I
Hero
don't
Award.
know any of the names. I don't know who these people are.
Gotta click the link and read the stories.
Who's Mark Durkin? Like, look, I'm sure that they were great for their community and their culture and their fans, but like, bro, like I don't know you. Like, where's Curtis? Where's Curtis?
Curtis, baby, Curtis from Alberta.
That's what I'm saying. Where's Curtis from Alberta? Like that's how I know this award is.
All right, let's go to the actual awards. On June 27th, the color will be revealed. It's Bedard, Faber, and Hughes. You know
That's
what?
correct.
Listen, I kind of want Faber to win. I think Faber has a
Me
legit.
too.
I think Faber has a legit argument that he should win it.
I agree. I think.
I think they all have legit arguments to win it, but I still
that's
think
why
Bedard
they-
can
I
win.
love
They
Luke
make
Hughes.
that
I
whole
hate Luke
point.
Hughes.
Anyway.
His face pisses me off.
What the fuck?
I
Wait,
don't
what?
want Luke Hughes. I don't want Luke Hughes to win. His face.
Well, he's not gonna win. I just think you could argue it. I think.
No, let's not argue it.
All right, fine. We won't argue it. Jesus.
No, it's just because of all those like devil's TikTok girls, like the ones that are like obsessed with hockey players. They keep being like, "Oh, like Luke Hughes is so hot." I'm like, shut up.
Wasn't there
please.
one girl that like pretended that she was like dating Jack Hughes? Wasn't
Yeah.
that like a thing?
Yes.
That's insane.
Like, what is this obsession with the Hughes family? Like, I get it.
don't
Like,
know.
Jack Hughes is like legitimately good, and Quinn Hughes is like legitimately like the 4th best defenseman in the league behind Bouchard, Makar, and
Yeah.
Fox. But like Luke Hughes is just started. Like, can we not get so obsessed with him this early on? Like, can he like do something first before we like?
It's same
Sorry.
obsession that Nolan Patrick had.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
like, don't get me wrong, Luke. I love you as a player. But I do think that he's the clear third in this Calder race.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think like he has an argument. I don't think it's as strong as the other two.
So we all agree Bedard's gonna win it then.
Uh
I
I mean,
I
who's
want
Bedard?
Faber to win. I think it's gonna be
I
Bedard.
like Bedard. I think he'll win.
I
And
don't
Yeah,
think the
like-
NHL's gonna let him lose.
yeah, I mean, like he had less to work with than Faber, and he's been super productive, and he's created offense with pretty much nothing next to him, and I think he should get credit for that. I think though, personally, even from just like a talent evaluation perspective, and someone who roots for Toronto, who's outside of Morgan Riley's other best defenseman in the last 8 years is probably Jake Muzzle with a broken spine. I like defensemen, and I would really like Brock Faber to win.
Yeah.
But
Holy
he's not
shit.
gonna do
Kurashev had 55 points.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Now we have the third rendition of the Crosby McDavid line. Now we got Bedard also elevating his line.
Philip Kurashev.
I like Kurashev, to be fair. I think he's a nice little player.
James Norris, we have Quinn Hughes.
Bro, just skip the heart.
Huh? Oh fuck yeah.
Bro, just skip the
You know what?
heart.
Yeah, okay. To be fair, I think the heart's like the more like important one, so we should stay that to the end.
Okay, fair point,
Like that's fair, right?
Yeah,
Then
I agree.
Norris, we got Hughes, Yossi, and Makar. It's gonna be Hughes. It's probably
I
gonna be
think we
Hughes.
should-
It's
I think
probably
we should
going to be
give it-
used.
Yeah, it's gonna be Hughes, but I think we should give it to 2 people, and we should just give it to Yossi and Makar.
I agree.
ownership
I
of
agree.
Norris. Shared ownership.
Exactly. Ted Lindsay, we got Kucherov, McKinnon, and Austin Matthews. I don't know who's gonna win this.
I think it'll be
I-
McKinnon, but
I
I'm
think it's gonna be
gonna vote
Kuch,
for
man. I think it's gonna
Matthews
be Kucherov.
I'm going to vote for Matthews here. I think the amount of goals he scored just alone, he's not even nominated for the Hart, and I think he was going to be like one of the.
If he
like,
scored
they were talking
70,
about
he
him.
would have been, yeah.
Yeah, so.
which is kind of dumb, like 1 goal. But
He was so
whatever.
close.
It was
but,
so
like,
okay, but like
we haven't seen a season like that in a long time. Like the way the NHL's trending, like Kucherov putting up the amount of points he did, and McKinnon and whatever, like McDavid put up the 150-point year. Like it seems to be trending more in that direction. Someone putting up the goals that Matthews did is like insane. He just like it seemed like every game he was going to score a hat trick. Like he was unbelievable all year long.
Yeah, and then he decided to get sick for the playoffs.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's actually tragic.
I
Man.
think-
it's crazy. It's crazy how Matthews played like 2 games and Nylander played like
Oh
2
no,
games,
here we go.
and somehow both of them had more good games
The Mitch
each
Marner.
than Marner did in the entire series, and Marner played all 7 games.
Oh my god.
Like, it actually baffles me. Like how did the math?
I
doesn't make
will.
sense?
I will say. I think it was so funny how on the last regular season game, after like 13 shots against fucking like Matt Tompkins and couldn't score. I feel like that was just so funny. And then
Dude,
like
that-
I think I laughed even more too when I think it was on a delay penalty, and like Brody shot the puck. Matthews was like
Yeah.
right in front. He did.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. Brody hadn't scored in I don't even know how long.
Dude, I was like telling myself, I was like, Brody's had a really rough year, like that, because there was like a stat going on Leafs Twitter like a month before that about how he hadn't scored in like X amount of games. I was like, Brody's had a really tough year. If he scores like at any point this season, I'm gonna be really happy for him. And he scored that goal. I was just screaming at him. I was like, you dumb fuck! Like, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? I was like, no. And Willie didn't even get to 100 either.
Yeah.
Like this season was just like a epic proportion of heartbreaking close misses.
Yep. Vesna. We have Demko, Hellebuck, and Bobrovsky. I feel like it's gonna be Demko. I
I
feel like
agree.
I feel like it should be Demko.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it should be Demko. I think it might end up being Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. I agree.
Demko was amazing.
the next award we have the Willie O'Ree, but for the U.S. We got Jerry.
What, would they have a different one for the U.S.?
Yeah, we got Jerry Duvall, Kelsey McGuire, and Dusty Gooch.
That's a good name.
Oh, Dusty Gooch. I know that guy.
Yeah, there's a fucking the guy from like
Winter
a.
Classic. You remember?
On my website, it says Estella Rivas Bryant.
No, I know. I just wanted to make a Dusty Gooch joke because I love.
Oh,
Dusty
I thought it was
Gooch.
actually Dusty Gooch. I was like,
the
oh,
guy
that's
from
awesome.
Lake Tahoe. But no, let's talk about the heart. Kucherov, McKinnon, McDavid. I don't think it's gonna be McDavid's year. I mean, he's already won it like 3 different times already.
Voter fatigue, yeah.
But I still can't believe last year that he would have been the first player in NHL history to have 2 unanimous Hart Trophy wins, and there is one fucking guy that put him 5th place. I want to kill him. What a bitch! 5th place. What a joke. It was a Pens writer too.
Yeah, of course.
Was it Josh Yohe?
Well, he was-
No, it wasn't Yo. It wasn't Yohi. Yohi's our guy.
Rob Rossi?
Yeah,
It was
he's our
it was
guy.
Sean. It was like Sean's. I don't know. It was the guy's name was like Sean.
Oh, I don't know
Well,
who that
the
is.
fact that we don't know him means he's irrelevant anyways. So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
but,
As long as it wasn't our boy.
I also like Crosby too much, so I don't blame him.
But it's Kucherov. It's between Kucherov and McKinnon. I don't know who's gonna win.
I don't know.
I
They
feel
all had
like-
two amazing years.
I
'Cause,
know
like-
who should win, but I don't know who it is.
Because here's the thing, right? Kucherov had 100 assists. I mean, so did McDavid, but Kucherov's team was a lot worse than McDavid's.
Yeah.
And I mean, but what McKinnon did at home this season was phenomenal. I think he scored like a point in like 40 out of 41 home games.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. But why does that matter? Like, why does it matter if the game's at home or away?
Yeah, I know that's also fair. So
Like, they made such a huge deal of that. I was like, what's the point? What difference does it make? And it means even less because he's used to playing in Colorado at high altitude.
Yeah,
and the
that's a
NHL
very
players
big
that go
factor.
in are not. So that may be part of it. I don't know if it is for sure, but anyways,
I'd lean towards Kucherov here.
I agree.
I'm like split between Kucherov and McDavid.
I mean, whoever wins, the other
Honestly.
fan base is gonna throw a riot. So
Yeah.
It should be
Can I
good.
and you know
can
what?
I be honest?
Honestly, to
Like-
me, this is like the hardest hard vote I feel like since 2022. Because I remember 2 years ago, right? It was what McDavid, Matthews, and Shesterkin, and everyone was like, "Oh, it should be Matthews because he scored 60." Nah, it should be McDavid because without him, the Oilers are shit. And I'm here like, honestly, it should be Shesterkin because without Shesterkin, the Rangers are shit. But Shesterkin finished 3rd somehow. But
I don't know. Like, anytime there's a goalie in the hard conversation, I feel like they should be a lock just because
Yes.
goalies are that important.
I agree.
But anyways, that's a whole different thing. But this time it's not that. I do think that it should still be.
If we're being honest, there's legitimately like 4 deserving candidates this year.
yeah,
Like Matthews could have been in here if we're being honest. Like
if
the
he
fact that
scored
didn't make
70,
it 'cause
he would have
didn't score
been ahead of
70.
McDavid. He would have been ahead of McDavid.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had like 4 legitimate like worthy candidates, my gut is telling me that Kucherov had the worst team. He had the less offensive creators around him, especially with Stamkos regressing. And so I want to pick him, but he's a Tampa Bay Lightning player, so I'm going Nathan McKinnon. I will never vote for a Lightning player in my life.
I've thought
for
about
anything.
it. No, I'm gonna pick Kucherov. I've thought about it. I'm gonna take Kucherov.
I will never vote for a
The
Lightning
other thing,
player.
though, is that he's Russian, and I hate. Never mind.
Yeah, we get it. You're xenophobic. You know what if
I still
what if
can't believe
what
that.
if Ilya
As soon as
Mikheyev?
I said that, Samsonov came back and had an amazing season for the rest of that, and then Ovi started scoring like at a mad pace. And
Yeah. By the way, me and Rossi told you. You called me and him idiots. We told you Ovi would bounce back.
all right, but next season he's not scoring above 20.
I would say Ovi gets 35 at least next season.
How many goals does he need to break the record?
I think 47.
Well, that's not very many. I think he'll hit that easy, and then he'll go and
I think
retire in Moscow.
he'll hit 900 in his career. I think that's safe to
That's
assume.
entirely possible.
I mean, what?
Hey.
He needs 895 to break the record. You're 5 away from 900. I think he'll hit 900.
Honestly,
Decent
like
talent.
it'll
What?
be even more impressive than Gretzky's goals because he'll have scored all of those goals with one franchise.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very true.
He didn't team hop like Gretzky. What a ring chaser! What a ring chaser this guy was.
Ring Chasey doesn't even win a ring on another team.
You weren't allowed to race the puck back then. It's a different game.
He's playing against plumbers.
Yeah, goalies couldn't even go down to their knees at that time. They just had to stand up.
Yeah. Hybrid goaltending wasn't even a thing. It was just like fucking stand up. You can't. Yeah, exactly.
You ever see that slap shot goal? How many goalies would save that slap shot goal in today's game? Like, let's be real.
I would.
Also, I don't know if if I'm just like a homer for nostalgia, but like I can't lie. Like when I think of the GOAT, I know it's Gretzky. Don't get me wrong. I know it's Gretzky, but in like my heart of hearts, it's Crosby.
I agree. I'd still
You know what
think
I mean? Like for me, it's Crosby. Like I get like you can't argue Gretzky's accomplishments and his rings and his records, but like in my heart, like dude, like when I think of like greatest hockey moment of all time,
I mean,
Iggy.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a generational thing, though, but he is probably the best of his generation, and you can argue that all day long.
I still think he's the best of all time, and I don't. But anyways, that's a whole other video, and I feel like we should talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an off-season
This summer.
topic. Off-season
This
topic.
summer, that'd be perfect.
But yeah, man. What a season. It's gonna end in a few weeks. And I mean, holy shit! Like the draft is soon, free agency is soon. It's almost been a year since Twitter broke on free agency day, and then Ryan had
God.
and then Ryan got pissed off about the Reeves and Klingberg deal. He didn't even come back, and then like that. I don't know. That stream was fucked. That was a fuck.
We
stream.
that was when
I
me and Ross
tried to cope so hard like the following week. I was like, oh no, like
not
the
that bad.
Klingberg signing's not that bad. I can see the logic behind that.
That
We
was
need a
when-
puck moving defenseman. Oh my.
That was when me and
God.
Rossi got bored and just sent each other memes
Yeah,
for like 2 hours.
and me and I was like, hey guys, I want to help out the PowerPoint here. Hopefully,
It was a great stream.
hopefully Twitter doesn't break this time around on July 1st. Otherwise, that would be
That
cool.
was a clusterfuck. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
lie.
gonna suck. Well,
But-
we're gonna be streaming the draft, I think, too. The
Oh
first
yeah,
round.
yeah, for sure. We're gonna be streaming the draft, as
Draft
we
will be
always
fine.
do.
When is what time does the first round?
I
start
think
again?
it's like 7:30, something like that.
It's gonna be
Nice,
earlier
okay.
because it's in Vegas this year, right?
Oh,
Thank
you know
God.
what? Maybe.
Dude, I'm gonna be waking up at like 6 a.m.
I need to tell you
the
that.
day after, so like 5-6 a.m. the day after. I'm just gonna be on 0% sleep, but it's fine.
It'll be,
Like
it'll
honestly,
be a fun
like
day.
I love hockey, but man, draft season might be my favorite season. I love draft season so
I just
much.
love like the special events. I love the draft. I love free agency. I love the deadline. It's just hype, man. All the news that breaks. Speaking of news, hopefully we get a trade soon so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
True.
There's been some OHL trades.
Yeah,
you, I'm
like
so
them trading like 20, like third round, fourth round picks.
Yeah, I know.
There
Kinda
was
crazy.
one trade that happened. I believe was it Chicago moving
Oh, yeah.
up 2 picks.
Oh yeah.
Who do you think that's gonna be? Who do you think they're targeting? By the
weird.
way, like I'm gonna ask you guys because I couldn't find someone.
that they went.
What pick do they have now? They have
18. They went from 20 to 18, so they
Who do
only
I have?
popped up 2.
The last guy on my rankings that had 18th was Carter Yakimchuk, which is like kind of low at this point. I think he'll go much earlier, realistically.
Really, you think so? Like, I know he probably had a good playoffs. So, like, I didn't watch. He's lumped in there with Celaya for me. Like,
yeah, and I feel the same, but I feel like realistically,
like they won't go high, but like I wouldn't have him ranked high on my board if that makes sense.
I think team just love that not
Size
that
and
like
mobility.
just that's the thing. The size and the mobility, the scoring, the shot, like it's kind of all a complete package. I just don't think he's like I don't think he's that like top 10-ish guy, but he seems to be trending in that direction. So like I think we'll go much earlier than where I would take.
I was much higher on Yakimchuk to start the year, but like I've kind of gone cold on him.
We'll
like,
see. We'll save this discussion for when we do our draft.
Yes,
preview.
of course. That's why I was just gonna cut it off.
Don't go too far.
I will say
it.
this about the trade. I think Chicago is gonna make a bigger move up. I think like there's like a team that is looking to either move down or like willing to move an asset.
Well,
or,
the Devils want to trade their 10th overall pick apparently. So I don't know if they want to swing a goalie.
Yeah,
but...
so I'm thinking there's a team that's willing to move down that Chicago knows is willing to move down, but that team has like a certain range of players that they'd be comfortable moving down for, and they don't want to move all the way down to 20, right? Like maybe they have like 15 guys that they have ranked very similarly, and they think it's too much of a risk if they go down to 20 that like all of those guys will get taken, and so they're more willing to move down to 18. So Chicago's moving preemptively up to prepare for another move up. Because I think if it's true what they're saying about what they're going to do at pick 2, I think they really want to move into that top like 10 to 12 range. Because that's when some of like the stud like play driving guys will still be available in the draft, and I think that's what they need alongside Bedard.
The thing is, there are a lot of like defensemen going in the top 10, like more than usual.
There's tons. Yeah, there's a lot
so
of
many. Dude, I have 1, 2, 3 guys in the top 5.
I think I have
the top 10. I have 4 in the top 10. Yeah, I have 4 in the top 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stop this.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I know we say this every single time, but these next few weeks, we will have a lot of content out. Don't you worry. We have a mock draft coming out. We have the draft stream. We'll probably have a free agency preview. We'll have the free agency stream. We'll have trade videos like we always do. The next few weeks are going to be fun for this channel. And if the Oilers win the cup, I may have something special out for that. If they don't win the cup, then you're not seeing it. But who knows? Who knows? Well, we'll see what happens in the near future. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And we'll see you guys next time.